Welcome to Commander Tilt. My name is Clark. Just a little bit about my channel. I do budget commander decks. I put them together. They tend to be on the focused level of playability. And then what I like to do is I play them against each other in a bracket style format with the idea that I can see which decks are performing the best and which ones perform the worst. And also I just love the competition to see who is going to be the best deck overall. In fact, I'm a little bit addicted to those reality shows where one person gets voted off each week and at the end there's one ultimate winner. I just love to watch those shows, and I don't know why I get so interested in them, but I think that's why I like this format of Magic myself the best. I really like this bracket style. Who's going to win? Who's going to take home the prize? Today's contest is a semifinal match. If you've been watching the previous videos, then you will know we've come down to just 3 decks left. On one side of the bracket, we have Feldgriff, who will be going on to the finals, and Feldgriff will take on the winner of this match, which is Scion of the Dragon versus Zada Hedron Grinder. Scion of the Dragon is a...
Clark, I know I have told you before. My name is not Scion of the Dragon. Scion is my title. I have been born with a name, and you shall use it, or you shall pay the consequences. My father named me Jortelian, and that's how you shall refer to me.
I'm so sorry. Okay, Jortelian, who was the Scion of the Dragon, is a Huberg commander, and he is able to tutor up dragons and become basically a copy of them, but the original copy goes into the graveyard. So because of his power, I tended to lean a little bit into the reanimator strategy. Being able to put stuff in the graveyard and then bring them back for cheap is a tried and true strategy of Magic the Gathering, and I really enjoyed this deck and how it plays. Zada Hedron Grinder is a mono red deck, which is kind of rare for me. I don't play a lot of red in general, but I've expanded more for this channel because I know some people like to watch different colors. Mono red deck, and what Zada's power says is if you cast a spell that targets one of our creatures, then it targets all of our creatures. So it's also a unique build in that it wants to go wide and then take a value spell like a little cantrip and then just apply it to everything. And it's one of the few decks I've ever seen that has a lot of card draw, because if you get, say, 6 or 8 or 10 creatures on the board and then you cast a cantrip like Crimson Wisp that says, this creature's red, draw a card, then you're drawing 6 or 8 or 10 cards off of that spell, which is fantastic value for red. You never see red spells that allow red to just draw 6 or 8 or 10 cards without doing something like, having to discard as well. So we're going to see how these two decks play today, and I sure hope that you enjoy the battle. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get into the hands. Scion of the Dragon's hand included Reincarnation, Mage's Guile, Izzet Signet, Gruul Signet, Tranquil Thicket, a mountain, and an island. Zada Hedron Grinder's opening hand included Siege Gang Commander, Fists of the Anvil, Bloodlust Insider, Raging Goblin, and 3 mountains. Zada won the die roll. Let's get started.
My draw for the first turn is Titan Strength. I shall put down a mountain and a Raging Goblin. Moving to combat, I shall attack with this little bugger because he has haste. And I pass the turn.
My first draw is Cyclonic Rift. I shall play Tranquil Thicket and pass the turn.
I shall untap. My draw is the Loyal Apprentice. I shall put another mountain to the field. And tapping one, I get the Bloodlust Insider. Moving to combat, I swing with the Raging Goblin.
I have no blocks.
I pass the turn.
I shall untap and draw Aspect of the Mongoose. I put down an island, and then tapping 2 mana, I play the Gruul Signet and pass the turn.
I shall untap. My draw this turn is the Palladian Mirror. A useful mana rock creature. Put down a mountain. And then I shall go ahead and tap 3 mana for this Palladium Mirror. I tap the Bloodlust Insider, giving haste to the Palladium Mirror. I attack for 3 damage.
I have no blocks.
pass the turn.
First I shall untap. I draws a soul ring. I shall play a mountain for my land for turn. Next, I shall tap the mountain for the soul ring. Then, I shall tap the soul ring for an Is It signet. And I pass the turn.
I shall untap. I draw this turn is Invigorating Rampage. This turn I shall tap the Palladium Mirror and all my mana for Zada, Hedron Grinder. Next I tap the Bloodlust inside here, giving Zada haste. I attack with Zada and the Bloodlust Goblin. That's the turn.
I shall untap. I draws Lightning Greaves. I pass the turn.
That is very strange that he would tap and go. I shall untap. I draw this turn as Downhill Charge. I shall tap 2 mana for the Loyal Apprentice. Moving to combat, I get a Thopter token. I swing with the entire army.
I have a response. I shall tap a blue and 6 colorless for Cyclonic Rift overloaded, bouncing all your non-land permanent to hand.
This is a problem. I shall tap 1 mana for the Raging Goblin. And then I must move to discard the Siege Commander and Downhill Charge the hand size. And pass the turn.
First I shall untap. Draw this turn is Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, which I shall play. Next, I shall tap a green mana to tap the Crucible, the Spirit Dragon, and add a counter to it. I tap the Soul Ring to put the Lightning Greaves onto the field, and I pass the turn.
It is time to rebuild. I shall untap. My draw is Flame Shadow Conjuring. This is part of a combo, but I do not have the other piece. I tap 3 mana for Palladium Mirror, and I attack with the Goblin and pass the turn.
First, I shall untap. My draw this turn is the Sakura Tribe Scout. I tap the Crucible of the Spirit Dragon and a mountain to add another counter to it. Next turn, I shall have enough mana to play the Scion. I tap a green mana for Sakura Tribe Scout and pass the turn.
Alright, I shall untap. My draw this turn is Blood-Crazed Goblin. I tap mana for the Loyal Apprentice and the Bloodlust Inciter. And pass the turn.
I shall untap. My draw is a Terramorphic Expanse. I shall play the Terramorphic Expanse for my land. Then I shall tap the Crucible of the Spirit Dragon for black and white. Then red, green, and blue brings out Scion of the Dragon. I equip the Lightning Greaves. Then I shall sacrifice the Terramorphic Expanse and fetch up a swamp which goes into play tapped. Then I shall pass the turn.
Just between you and me, it's odd he did not attack. I shall untap. I shall draw Rush of Adrenaline. Next, I tap all of me mana for Zada, Hedron, Grinder, and I pass the turn.
I shall untap. My draw is Sargon the Unbroken. I shall tap 2 mana and turn Scion of the Dragon into my father, the Dragon. Then I shall swing in with the Dragon, which brings Sargon Unbroken to the field.
Having no flyers, I have no blockers.
Oh, I just realized. I could have attacked last turn, and I completely forgot. Zada, do you mind if I take an attack step? from last turn.
No, that is ridiculous. You cannot. I shall not allow it.
Well, you're right. Lightning Greaves gives me Shroud, and I just completely forgot it gives me haste. This is so
You are
unfortunate.
stupid.
But you are right. I should not redact the
No,
previous
you shall
turn.
not.
I shall just accept it. But I have no fear. You goblins are no match for me and my dragon might. Sarkhan comes to the field with 4 loyalty. I immediately drop him down to 2 and summon one of my brothers, a 4/4 flying dragon. If you don't mind, I prefer to put the gold one on the field, because gold is better than red.
That's where you are wrong. Red is much better.
With that, I shall pass the turn.
I have no fear of dragons. My goblin army shall defeat you. My draw this turn is empty the warrens. Moving to combat, I shall swing with every creature. My entire army is going after you. Declare blockers, fool. You cannot stop me.
Well, I shall declare blockers. The Sakura Tribe Scout shall block Zada Hedron Grinder. And I shall put the dragon token in front of one of the Thopters.
Is that all you have? Are you ready for this? I shall tap a single mana for Titan Strength that gives +3, +1 to every creature. And then I tap 2 mana for Fists of the Anvil. This gives +4, +0 to every creature. We shall do the damage stage. Zada defeats the single blocker. The Thopter dies, but I still get through with 42 damage.
This cannot be. How could goblins defeat my might? This is unbelievable. No!
And with that, the goblins are victorious. You have been defeated, Scion of the Air Dragon. Goblins, goblins, goblins. Hiya!
There you have it. Zada Hedron Grinder is the winner and is moving on to the finals. Just a quick recap of the first 2 battles, because this was a best of 3, and they actually split the first 2 battles. Scion of the Air Dragon won the first game. Scion had to mulligan down to 6, and had drawn Dragon in the opening hand, so he wasn't able to tutor for Dragon, so he won in a kind of non-traditional method for Scion, in the fact that he actually tutored his first combat for Nicole Bolas, which emptied Zada's hand, and it was just all downhill for Zada after that. Zada could not recover after losing her hand and being kind of a little overcommitted to the board. The second game was very similar to this game in that Zada got off to kind of a fast start, and again, Zada had an explosive single turn and just did a phenomenal amount of damage. I think it was like 80 damage in that last turn to knock Scion out, because honestly, Zada is so explosive and usually will win on just one turn because it can just produce so much damage all at once. So, in a way, I hate a little bit that the final game was hinged on a mistake on my part. I did make a mistake. I should have attacked with Scion in that second to last turn, but I've always played with, if I make a mistake, I've made a mistake. I'm not going to redact or change because I'm human and Magic's a difficult game, and if I make a mistake, I'm just going to run with it. So if I had not made that single mistake, Scion would have won, because Scion could have attacked and tutored up the Atarka double strike and done 12 commander damage and would have been at 22 commander damage. So it was right to the wire, and that simple mistake cost Scion his ability to move on to the next round. So the next round is going to be Zada Hedron Grinder versus Feldegriff, and a heavily offensive deck versus a heavily defensive deck. Just a couple quick notes. I am already planning on Commander Tilt 3. It's going to be a 16 deck double elimination tournament. I've got a bunch of new decks planned. There is definitely going to be 2 Ikoria decks featured. I sure hope you enjoy the videos. I have a Patreon page. If you'd consider looking at my Patreon, I would really appreciate it. And remember to like and subscribe. You have a great day.
Hey, Scion. Why do dwarves hunt dragons in the morning? Because The early beard gets the worm.
That's not funny.